this is a really cool story. This came from our new smoking hot press secretary, Karoline Levitt. Who has done an absolutely fantastic job so far. Loving her, loving the attitude, loving the professionalism, loving the organization, everything that she's bringing to the table. It reminds me of Kayleigh McEnany. It reminds me of that kind of, it's almost like a military, cadence almost kind of thing that all of Trump's people have. They come in and they just get the job done. There's no games. There's no plan. They're not trying to make friends. They come out, they get the job done. They move on to the next thing. Everybody's doing that. Look at Tom Homan and what he's doing with immigration, right? You look at, RFK, getting, he knows what he needs to do when he gets in there. Marco Rubio's already at work. Karoline Levitt. All these people. Pam Bondi. I'm going to come in. I'm going to get my job done. I'm going to move on. Got 4 years to get everything done that I possibly can to make a difference, to make America great again. And then who knows where I'll be. That's how they're working, and they're all doing a fantastic job. So Karoline, I'm digging you, girl. So again, she didn't have to read out of her binder. She knew her facts. She didn't hesitate to fire back at dumb questions. She was upfront about the drones. She talked about that, and so much more. We're going to talk about one thing that she mentioned, which is really exciting for people in my hemisphere, I would say, which I'm barely in at all, to be fair. But this comes from several places, but this one I'm pulling from the Hollywood Reporter. It says White House says it is opening briefing room to podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators. Press Secretary Karoline Levitt announced the new policy during her first press briefing Tuesday. Get him, girl. All right. Sorry. I'm a fan. Big changes are coming to the Brady press briefing room in the West Wing of the White House. Press Secretary Karoline Levitt, making her debut behind the podium Tuesday, announced that the Trump White House would open up the briefing room to independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators, and would be creating a dedicated seat in the first row for the new media. Trump, of course, leveraged new media to great effect during the 2024 campaign, appearing on podcasts hosted by the likes of Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn, and the Nelk Boys. In addition to more traditional TV appearances at his victory party at Mar-a-Lago, UFC CEO Dana White called out some of the podcasters by name. In keeping with this revolutionary media approach that President Trump deployed during the campaign, Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media, who are seated in the room, Levitt announced to the briefing room. Because according to recent polling from Gallup, Americans' trust in mass media has fallen to a record low. Yeah, absolutely. Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. She also said that the White House is looking to restore the press passes of 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. In light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlet, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room, she continued. While the first question did go to a new media voice, it was not exactly a Washington outsider. Axios co-founder Mike Allen got the question, asking about DeepSeek, and artificial intelligence. It's kind of a jab at the end of the whole story, how they're going to end that. But yeah, look, when and I almost did this, guys, but it was a little too much to do for what I was capable of at the last minute anyway. So Trump did one of his final rallies came to Macon, Georgia, which is right up the road from me. I actually applied for a press pass and I got approved. And I was going to be in the press corps pit with my camera, with my audio recording devices and everything. And I was going to be able to stream and whatnot. To do that correctly would have required me to have more artillery than I did. Power, battery backups, additional equipment. And I'm a one-man band. I probably could have got somebody to go in there and help me. But at the same time, you were locked down to that one location. You could not leave. You could not actually celebrate. You would be in front of and with the other media. And so I thought it was really cool I got accepted, but I ended up not being able to do it or deciding, really choosing that that's not what I needed to do on top of a hectic schedule that day. And so so I ended up not doing it. But that was something to me that indicated like, okay, these people are open to this. And then hearing this just thrills my heart so much. So something I wanted to do, and I'm going to try to put up, I don't know if I'll be able to link to all these guys in the show notes because this is a lot. And I'll try to throw up a graphic for each of them. But I'm going to give some shout outs to some of the people that I turn to the most for news that are very trustworthy and entertaining to listen to. So here we go. Starting from my closest folks, of course. You got Third Railify, the Washcast, Spin Cycle Live, Handy News, PUREBLOOD Media, Lose Views, The Front Porch Conservative, Tea Party OGs, Studio Jake Media, Mark Dice, The Quartering, Black Conservative Perspective, Liberal Hivemind, Officer Tatum, Don't Walk Run Productions, Cartier Family, The Hodge Twins, The Based Mother, Dom Lucre, Louder with Crowder, InfoWars, Dan Bongino, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, Benny Jones, and so much more. So that's kind of a highlight of people that I watch on a regular basis, I would say. And I want to give them all a shout out because if you're not following some of those guys, you might enjoy them. I do always say, check them out, see if that's something that, if that's the right flavor for you. Different strokes for different folks. You may enjoy them, you may not, and that's fine. But I really, really enjoy each and every one of those. And they all bring their own perspective while sharing the same kind of overall mindset that the perspective of the conservative, I guess, but their own personal perspective comes into it. And I appreciate that. I love that about each and every one of these guys. So definitely you go out and support your favorite creators. If it's myself or Sean at Third Railify or Robert at the Washcast or any of these guys I mentioned a minute ago, if you see a live stream, if you're not a paid member or anything like that, hit them up with a Rumble rant, hit them up with a super chat, throw them a little love out there if you can. Just show them that you love them and you appreciate them. And if nothing else, and I truly mean if nothing else, subscribe, like, and here's the big one, share the videos when you see them and help more people see them. And that will help them in the algorithm. That'll help them grow. And honestly, this stuff, we want to keep doing this. We're not doing this from a selfish perspective. We're trying to get the news out there. We are trying to battle the legacy media, mainstream media. And as we see right here, it's working. I don't know if Elon Musk deserves all the credit for the quote, but we are the media. That was something he said. It was something a lot of us have been saying for a while. And we definitely saw that with this election. We are the media. And while it's got a bunch of the legacy media folks like The View and other folks, they got their panties in a bunch about this. I can go on about that. I'm thrilled. I really hope they get some good quality folks in there. And I hope they do a good job because I have a feeling that more people are going to be educated now by having voices like ours, all these people I mentioned, in the same room, doing the same thing that the other ones are doing and have been doing, but yet they've been allowed and and even pushed to push the misinformation out there to suit their agenda. What do you guys think? Who do you think would be a great one to be in that room? Who's one of your favorite commentators, podcasters, journalists that's out there? And if there's, again, if I didn't call them out, put it in the comments down below. I would love to know who else needs a good watch, a good follow. And I'm always up for being educated. So let me know in the comments.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.